literacy and numeracy assessment. The entire paper is out of 20, 10 marks for the first section on numeracy and 10 marks for the section on literacy. The first question has a table of data with animals and their gestational period, so the number of days a pregnancy lasts for the mother. A sheep has a gestational period which is half of that for the chimpanzee. So in the table it says chimpanzee has a gestational period of 240 days, half of 240, the sheep, is 120. If the average human pregnancy lasts 40 weeks, complete the table to show how many days this is. Now, we should know there's 7 days in a week, so that's around 280 days. For the next question, it says to use that data to draw a bar graph. We have 3 marks in total. So 1 for getting the x-axis label, so animal, a mark for the y-axis label, and the appropriate scale. The best way to find these terms is to always use the headings from the table. So animal is the heading we have here, so it'll be the x-axis or independent variable, and the y-axis label, gestational period in days, can be copied directly and used as your y label. We need a scale which ideally starts at 0 and fits the number of squares we've been given and is higher than the highest number that we're given in the table. So the highest number we're given here is 280, so we need to have at least 280 in space. I can go up to 300, so that's fine. The final mark, so we had a mark for the x, a mark for the y, is for correctly putting the bars in. This is a point that a lot of people manage to miss, either because we colour in the bars, which I personally do not like. People tend to colour in the bars and colour outside the lines, which is not okay. We need to have a nice obvious top to our bars and not colour out with the limits. You can see there are spaces in between the bars as well. Bars are all the same width and the spaces are all the same width. That's where the third mark comes from. I've colour-coded the table for the next question. So estimate what proportion of the treated women in the 37, so that's the yellow column, 35 to 37, produced 1 or more babies. So 43 plus 8 plus 0 gives you 51. Out of the total 200 women, that is 0.26 as a proportion, so about 26%. So none of these are exactly right, because that'd be 50%, 33.3 recurring percent, and 25%, but 1/4 is the closest, so that's the correct answer. That's our estimate. The percentage of women below the age of 35 that gave birth to 1 baby, we can have a look. So out of 90, we had 360. Out of 360, we had 90. So that is 1/4. It's 90 over 360 times 100, which is 25%. The total number of women treated in the clinic in the year, we take the total values, so 360 plus 200, which is 560, plus 100, which is 660, plus 50, which gives us 710. That's the answer, 710. For the pie charts are quite tricky. You were given a pie chart with 16 degradations in it. So 16 is half of our total, which is 32. So there are 32 total women who produced twins. Easiest way to do this is we know that out of the total, which is 32, 16 of them are in the below 35. So we should know that 16 is half of 32. So half of these segments, think of it like an orange or Terry's chocolate orange, half of them are going to be the below 35. We then have 8, which is a quarter of 32, which are going to be the number of segments. We have the 35 to 37, 6, so again, we can work that out. You can even think that 6 plus 2 gives you 8, which is a quarter, and we can work it out like this. And you can see each of the segments have been labelled. So 1 for getting the correct proportions, and 1 mark for the labelling. In the literacy assessment, again, I have colour-coded this. So how long does the trimester last? Split into 3 trimesters, each lasting 3 months. So the answer is Conception occurs when sperm breaks through the wall of an egg, the genetic material of two parents combined. So that is what combines the genetic material of two parents. What can a woman do after 3 weeks? So it says here, after 3 weeks, a woman can obtain a positive pregnancy test. What has the embryo developed by week 7? Facial features as well as digestive and respiratory systems. What is the embryo called? It's called the fetus. In question 4, this one is a lot easier to get the marks from. Describe the journey of a sperm from the time it leaves the testes until it meets the egg. Use as many words as you feel you can. So we just need 5 clear factual statements for the progress of the sperm from being produced in the testes until it reaches the egg in the oviduct. Nothing after that or before that is really required. It's not necessary to use all the words, so you can get 5 marks only using some of these, but a really, really good answer is probably use most of these. So we can talk about the sperm produced in the testes in the male. They leave through the sperm tube and then exit during an ejaculation through the head of the penis. Here they're deposited into the vagina, where they move up the vagina towards the opening to the uterus, which is called the cervix. They pass through the cervix, assuming there's no mucus plug in place, and they move into the uterus proper. Here they go through one of the 2 oviducts, where they are likely to meet an egg if it has been produced by the ovary. If the sperm and the egg meet, their nuclei will fuse. This is called fertilization and produces a zygote. Hopefully that was understandable. If there's anything you don't understand, please contact your teacher for advice.